My favorite place to live. Of all the selected topics in the season commencing July 2023, I can with confidence aver, as I put my sentience to iPad, that this is my favorite, given my marital status generally, and the date specifically, the redundant but prescient quip in a chance exchange with another customer who was more likely a competitor at one of those emporia selling flowers and plants along Flamingo Road on Monday last was happy wife, happy life. And this set the stage for this production. Monica, with but little hesitation, declared her favourite other island to live was Ireland, on the basis that the arc of flowers, friendship and familiarity bends towards consensus. It was also happily my preference, and so we were both ad idem as a consequence of family and personal knowledge and similar socialization. When Irish eyes are smiling. Firstly, our smart choice should bring a smile upon your face, as mirrored in the Irish eyes of my two nieces, Sharon and Daphne Ann, smiling in the above photograph on the grounds of their home in Ireland. Their cousin, Sonny Gay, is at centre. The rambling Irish rose on the Jamaican bougainvillea. As Nat King Cole, who graced us with his inimitable rendition last week of I Remember You, you're the one who made my dreams come true. And when my life is through and the angel guides me to recall the thrill of them all, then I shall tell them, I remember you. This week, I imagined as I thought of the luck of Irish living, listening to him sing to me this week, as where I would love to live, of the steadfast cheeriness of Ireland's rambling rose, climbing over walls and trellises to where no one knows. I imagine that like them we shall keep rambling on even when our rambling days are gone, and it's going to be joyfully reminiscent of the mellifluous beauty of blooming bougainvillea blossoms, shaded summer hot, red rose pink and royal purple, draped over the boundary wall at our Shenton Manor home at Knollys in St. Thomas y Vale parish. The cuisine in Ireland is similar to Jamaica, and it's not as if any radical dietary adjustment would be necessary. Life in London in the 60s has given us a taste for Irish potatoes in its myriad styles, baked with chives and sour cream, boiled with herbs, mashed with butter, fried as in fish and chips. The Great Potato Famine, 1845 to 1852, had caused waves of migration that added another layer of migrating Irish peasants to the prior initial infusion of frontier colonizers that were mandated by the conqueror of Jamaica from the Spanish, Oliver Cromwell, on his orders carried out by Admiral Sir William Penn and General Robert Venables in 1655. Many of the migrants were petty criminals who eventually became indentured servants, but never slaves. The punishment for misdemeanors in England was, quote, deportation beyond the sea within His Majesty's dominions. Fortunately for us, the hand of history would welcome us, not we believed as strangers, more like long lost and to some extent removed cousins. Chances are we have family in Ireland, and there's a sound basis for anticipating a positive welcome. We should also be able to survive in their economy, as the income available to us currently will suffice if we were to relocate to Ireland. Moreover, it is claimed by linguistic experts that Jamaicans and Irish share several of the eccentricities that evolved from corruptions of the English language. For example, the Jamaican accent is similar to the Irish. Our islanders understand and appreciate that. Think of the suffix "-een" to denote little or smaller, like smithereens, meaning small fragments, ladine and girleen, or jackeen, a certain type of Dubliner. Also, the word becausin is used elsewhere, but specifically in my observation by persons from the community known for ages as O'Mealy. It appears to be that an original colony of Irish must have settled there. They are distinguished by their fairer complexion, their names, and their customs. Until fairly recently, they would send their teen children to schools in Britain, and at Christmas time barrels of goodies from Ireland would be delivered to friends and family. My three special places in Ireland are naturally the Guinness factory, and the stout served chilled on its highest panoramic elevation, St. Patrick's Cathedral, and the Book of Hells at the university. The progeny of past settlers have their own names like O'Clery or O'Malley, or the variety of Mac names. We won't feel uncomfortable with most place names, for we are very accustomed to Irish names: Irish Town, Clonmel, Dublin Castle, Sligoville, Belfast, Athenry, and Kildare. The extent of Irish immigration to the Caribbean and Jamaica was so prolific, Cromwell believing that children between 10 and 14 would acclimate better, sent 2,000, and migration continued through the 17th century, so that a staggering 25% of Jamaica citizens can claim Irish ancestry, the second largest reported ethnic group in Jamaica after the African ancestry. What gives me a sense of relief about living with the Irish, is that my late brother's widow is from Ireland, and we have met the very fine Allen family from which my eldest niece's husband comes. They have levelled with me that they feel the Irish presence on each of their visits to our native island. Its rich, greenest, and ever-changing skyline, as well as the dry stone walls dividing the cattle and horse pastures in the interior, all display an uncanny similarity with the Emerald Isle. Apart from the symbolism of unity in the preparation and presentation of stimulating soupine of delectable Irish coffee, they appear to have given us Irish moss, a nourishing aphrodisiac made famous from a dried seaweed, carrageen, concoction that relieves hunger pain and treats anemia from starvation. The Jamaican constabulary is modified after the Royal British Constabulary, right down to the red stripe on the pant legs. Irish regiments were stationed in Newcastle. Guinness, PC, which was founded in Dublin, now owns Red Stripe and D&G, the Caribbean's largest brewery. The reality of conjugal relations between the Irish and non-white or Afro-Jamaicans meant that several important personages in Jamaica had an Irish ancestor. This includes the political founders such as our first Prime Minister Alexander Bustamante, Hugh Shearer, who was Prime Minister and stalwart of the GLP for the 8 years I served the government, Norman Manley, Premier and founder of the PNP. He was Jamaica's most distinguished barrister. And all of them shared a common Irish female ancestor. The Irish boast some giants of literature and the theatre. Oscar Wilde was born in Ireland. He's responsible for A Woman of No Importance and the importance of being earnest. George Bernard Shaw was born in Dublin, and so also is Richard Sheridan. The Rivals, The School for Scandal, and The Critic. And Dion Muchicol, Legends of Devil's Dyke. Oliver Goldsmith was born, however, in Roscommon, and he produced The Good-Natured Man and She Stoops to Conquer. Distance is relative. Substance is real. There is no reason, save distance, why we should not desire to spend future time in Ireland. For as Bruce Springfield sings, it's not outside the realms of possibility. And so, let's imagine a beautiful river flows in the valley ahead. Imagine that it's beneath the boughs where as lovers we were wed. Should we lose each other in the shadow of evening trees, I shall wait for you. Will you wait for me, darling? Please? And should I fall behind? Wait, do wait for me. For if you should fall behind, I will wait on thee.